In this exercise, I'm going to show you how to create your own laser cut entourage. To begin, you're going to need a photo of yourself. If I navigate to my downloads folder, I have a photo of one of my students from this spring 2025 semester. So, next thing I'm going to want to do is go ahead and open up Rhino. I'm running Rhino 8. I'm going to do a new project. I want to do small objects inches. If you don't get the dialog box, or if it zips right past you, once Rhino opens up, navigate to File, New, and again, we're doing a small object. You can do it in feet and inches or inches. I'm going to just choose inches. I'm going to navigate to my front viewport. I'm going to type in picture, and I'm going to find my downloaded file. I'm going to define this picture by 2 diagonal points. First, I'm going to type in 0 and hit enter to start my points at the origin, and then I'm going to navigate away from it, and it really doesn't matter how large I make it at this point, and just set my second point, and there it is. Now obviously I want to rotate them, so I'm going to select them, rotate them. The center of rotation will be this corner here. The first reference point will be here, and I'm going to want to turn ortho on, and then my second reference point will be right here. I'm going to move him back to the origin. I'm going to zoom into him. While I have him selected, I'm going to right click layer 1, change object layer, and I'm going to change the name of layer 1 to photo. And while I have this still selected, I'm going to navigate to properties. I'm going to go over to texture mapping, and I'm going to change the transparency just so it's a little translucent so I can see through it. Alright, that was material properties, not texture mapping, material properties. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and scale him right. The way I like to is I like to draw a reference line. So I have ortho on. I'm going to start a line. I'm going to just draw one line. A, B. Enter. Okay. That one line, I'm going to move it just about right here. This is going to elevation of this student, and I want to cut him off here because his feet can't be pointing downwards if there's an elevation, right? This is a little bit too much of perspective, but it's kind of hard to capture true life without perspective. That's how we see it. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take that line, I'm going to use the copy command, and I'm going to copy it from this near point, and I still have ortho on, I'm going to go to the very tip top of his head, okay? Not counting his hair, obviously. The next thing I'm going to do is type in offset, and I want to figure out what his height is. Now I don't have him here near me, but if I had to say, it could be, let's call him 5'9". We'll make him 5'9" tall. So I'm going to select this curve to offset. I'm going to type in 5'9 inches. Okay, see what I'm doing here? It's creating a whole box. That's because I have cap on, and I don't want a flat cap. I want no cap. And then just go ahead and click anywhere up there. That represents the distance between these two lines represents 5'9 inches. If I do a dim command here to here. This is too small. I'm going to enlarge this to 25 times bigger. So 5'9 is 69 inches. So currently he's shorter than that. So, and in fact, he is currently, let's make that 25. He's like 33 inches tall right now, 33 and a half. So I'm going to make sure to select this photo. I'm going to use the scale command, and I'm going to scale him using this line as my base point, zooming out, using this line as my first reference point, and then using this line as my second reference point. Okay, so now he's of the correct size, roughly. I don't know how tall he is, but basically what I did was I said, he's this tall, turn this into this tall, and that's it. Okay, so that was a scale command. I'm going to put him back on the origin just to stay organized. I can delete all this now. I don't really need it. I'm going to lock the photo. I'm going to navigate to layer 2, and I'm going to change the name of layer 2 to outer. And I'm going to use the control point curve command to draw his outline. So I'm going to start right here at the collar. For this, you might want to turn ortho off. You might want to turn O-snap off, but you might need to turn it on sometimes. Okay, and all we're going to do is quickly, as cleanly as we can, I'm going to hit undo a couple times because I messed up a little bit there, is we're just going to select points all along the outline of his body as best as we can. There's really no need to be hyper fixated on the tiniest of details, because we're going to use this by scaling him down to 1/2 inch is equal to a foot scale, so we can bring him into our small physical models. So, you know, a small detail that I draw here is really going to be very minute when I scale him down 1/2 inch is equal to a foot. Notice here, I can make a turn like this, or if I wanted to create a sharper corner, I can end the command by hitting enter or space or right click, and then I can repeat that command and then pick it up from where I left off, and that creates a much sharper corner. So you can always do that if you want a sharper corner. I recommend that you zoom out as much as you can while still being able to see what you're doing, because if you tend to get too close, you're adding way too many points and frankly just wasting your own time, because no one's going to notice those small tiny details. Okay, here I go, going around his shoe. Let's go back up his pant leg. I'm being loose with it. You could be as loose as you want with your own entourage. Architecturally, entourage are typically just meant to provide a scale to the building that you're designing or whatever project you're designing. So don't really try not to be fixated on small details. Kind of messed up his thumb there, but no one will know. Alright, let's go like that. And after we're done with this, we're going to go in and do the same thing all over again and put in a couple of small details, you know, like facial features or logos that are on a t-shirt or whatever we deem necessary. Alright, I've ended the command. I'm going to turn off the photo layer and check out my work. I've got got two curves. Okay, if I select them all, they're two open curves. Go ahead and join them. Okay, so now it's one closed curve, which is what we like. Now I'm going to navigate to layer 3 and change this, name it to inner. I'm going to delete layers 4 and 5. Okay, let's choose a completely different color. Let's choose red. Bring back our photo. I'm going to come in here and paint some of the inner details. Now the outer profile is basically going to represent the final cut we make when we go to laser cut this. The inner part is going to be all of the smaller little details that we want the laser cutter to cut out first, right? Because we don't want it to cut out his outline, his shape first. Let's give him some little curlies right here. He's got nice hair, so let's give him a proper hairline. Notice that I'm ending that command, starting the command over again as needed to create sharper corners. Be careful doing the face. It can look so scary sometimes since we're leaving features out. We're not worried about shading, right? It's not going to get picked up by the laser cutter. This is not really an art piece. This is really simply for scale. Okay, I don't know if I want to give him tired eyes. Let's freshen him up a little bit. This is your opportunity to be liberal with your own design. Let's give him beautiful full eyebrows. Yeah, he's looking good. The nose can always look weird, so be careful with that. No need to draw every single part of the nose. Okay. Let's do the lips. Debating whether or not I want to just put this shadow in to help give you the idea of his lips without giving him super full lips. It's always interesting doing someone else when I do this exercise. Okay, let's move on to his shirt. I'm gonna stop it there, restart the command, stop it right there. Oh, let's make sure he has a jawline. Go ahead and give it a nice chiseled jawline like that. Make sure it chisels up over here too. Okay. We don't want them to look lumpy. Okay. Alright, let's get a few more details in the shirt. Now, I keep on starting this command over and ending it over and over again. For these lines, I'm not super concerned about them being closed curves, just because they're not cutting anything out. They're really just small, minute detail curves. Let's just put a circle in there, and a circle in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and write this. His company's name as fast as I can, Okay. This is probably way too small of a detail to even worry about it, but I'm gonna do it for fun. It might be really distracting if we go to laser cut this out. I'm gonna take this and copy it over because I'm lazy. But when we laser cut this might be like a big dark black stain on his shirt, but whatever. If we don't like it, we can delete it later. Make sure you don't have grid snap on, by the way. You're just going to have a hard time with grid snap on. Okay. Let's end his arm, his shirt there, and then let's end his shirt down here. Let's put a seam there. Let's put some of these folds just a few folds, just so we know it's not his legs that are all crinkly or oddly shaped. It's jeans that he's wearing. I'm being very liberal with this project. Details are not important. We can be vague with this kind of project. And then I'm not going to put too much time and detail into the shoes either, because I'm going to want to cut off his shoes at some point. So I'm just going to draw it like that, and I'm going to draw this guy like this, and I'm going to draw this one like that. I want his feet to be flat. So let's go ahead and go back to the outer layer. That's all. I think that's all I want to do with the. I guess I could put some more time into his accessories. So let's go ahead and put that watch in there. Oops. Make sure you're snapping as needed. Okay, good enough. All right. So back to outer. I'm going to define that line again. Nice straight line, and I want his feet to be flat, because when I go to glue him near my model, his feet need to be flat so that way I can glue them down properly. So I'm going to offset this. Actually, I'm going to take this line. I'm going to move it all the way to the tip top of his head, align to the top, enter for auto align. I said he was 5'9", so 5'9". Offset that line, and that's about where I want to cut his feet off. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's put it right there, right where his heel is on this shoe. And I'm going to select all these lines down here, trim, and trim away all of this stuff. I know it's going to look weird, but we have to. We have to. Okay. All right. And if anything, we can go back in with the inner line and just kind of roughly draw in what, like the front of the shoe, just so we know that his feet aren't horribly dismangled like this. Okay, go ahead and trim some of this stuff away. Let's trim this, and that, and trim this, of course, and this, of course, and all of this. Okay, and I'm going to grab my purple lines, and I'm going to make sure to join them all since I just trimmed stuff. G-O-I-N, closed. Delete that guy, and voila. Turn off the photo. Okay, select all, ZSA. There's Trung. Okay, so now that's Trung 1 to 1. I'm going to make a new layer, 1 to 1 ratio. I'm going to take photo, outer, inner, and I'm going to move them into 1 to 1. I'm going to make a new layer. Actually, I'm going to right click 1 to 1. I'm going to duplicate. Actually, let's select all of these things and duplicate layer and objects. Yes to all. And instead of 1 to 1, this will be 1/2 inch is equal to 1 foot scale. Okay, this is going to be my smaller version. So I'm going to go to my. I'm just going to go to the default layer right now. I'm going to turn off all of 1 to 1. Now all I have is 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to show you how to scale him down to 1/2 inch is equal to a foot. My favorite method for doing this is making 3 polylines. Here's my first one, nice straight one, offset 12 inches. Take this line and offset it that way, and then take this one, offset that one 1/2 of an inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1 inch. Okay, take all of Trong. Let's grab the photo too. Unlock that photo, select the photo. Now I'm going to type in scale. My base point is going to be this bottom line. My first reference point is going to be this line that's 12 inches away from it. And then my second reference point is going to be that little half-inch line. Okay, so we said that scale this thing down so that way here to here is equal to 12. Make 12 equal to half-inch. So every half-inch is equal to a foot. So now we have a mini-me version of Trong scaled down to a half-inch is equal to a foot. I'm going to turn on the one-to-one version of him. And I'm going to right-click, select sublayer objects, and I'm going to move him on down to the origin from this reference point. Boom, there he is. Okay, turn off his photo. Okay, and here's the big one. Turn on his photo, unlock his layer. I'm going to select all of that. Oh, it's already at the origin, so that's perfect. So I'm going to lock that photo, turn off that photo, and there you have it. Real life scaled Trong, and half-inch is equal to a foot Trong. Alright. Next we'll laser cut this out at school, and we'll have them ready for a physical model. Alright, catch you guys next time.